Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. I'd like to call this meeting to order. My name is Representative Liz Linehan. I am the chair of the Children's Committee, and I'm happy to have you all here today. As we start this meeting, there are a few housekeeping things that I need to say, and then we'll go along with the introductions. This meeting will be live streamed on YouTube and CTN and is being recorded. To the legislators, please have your mic muted if you are not speaking. Please do not use the chat function on Zoom, as this is a public meeting and subject to FOIA. Please raise your hand on Zoom by clicking reactions and then raise hand to be recognized. When voting, the clerk must be able to see your face as you speak. When the clerk calls your name, please state your full name so that Zoom highlights your face, and then cast your vote. It sounds easy. It tends to be a little bit more difficult. So I'm going to add to that. Just pause, say your name, pause, and then vote. And with that, we will begin. Again, I am Representative Liz Linehan, and I thank everyone for being here, whether they are in person or on Zoom. Item number one is, rather two, would be remarks by the chairs. And I'd like to say just a few things. I know everyone's time is valuable, but being the fact that we skipped the org meeting to go right to an agenda, I thought it was important to kind of say a few things so that those of you who are new to this committee and to the legislature have an idea of what this committee is about. Last year, I believe we had 13 members, and this year we're up to 18 or 19. This is indicative of the real, not only need to help our kids in Connecticut, but the desire of legislators to do so. And there could be nothing more exciting to me than to hear that. So I want to thank everyone for their interest in this committee. When we started the committee process over Zoom a couple of years ago, last year, we actually had one legislator who had never testified in the Children's Committee before. And he was put in the waiting room and heard what we were doing and talking about during a public hearing. And he heard some very emotional testimony. Senator Minor, then Senator Minor, who's no longer part of the legislature, came back to us when it was his turn. And before he started his testimony, he commented that in all the years he had been here in the legislature, he did not understand the gravity of the subject matter that we take on here in the Children's Committee. And he really commended us for having the hard conversations, doing it in a bipartisan fashion, and really kind of working together for the benefit of the kids. So I point that out for a few reasons. One is, if you are new to this committee, you probably don't know the heaviness of the things that we will be talking about this session and subsequent sessions. I want you to know also that EAP is available. Employee assistance programs are available if the things that we do talk about tend to bring you down, hit a nerve, make you nervous. Just sometimes we need to talk to someone, and as a committee, we will let you know how to access that if you are a committee member or just an employee of the legislature. And something that I wanted to say is that we're a family here in the Children's Committee. We work together. We have been bipartisan since the very beginning. And I asked a good friend, Dave Desjardins, to look over last year's votes. All 23 JF or JFS votes from 2022 had some bipartisan support. 13 of the 23 were unanimous. And if our math is correct, that's about 56%. That is after we go to public hearing. That is after we change the bills based on everybody's input. And that is after we're voting it out based on the right things to do for our kids. I bring this up because, look, everything that's going on in Washington, everything's a stalemate. There's always obstructionism happening. That doesn't happen in this committee, and I'm really, really proud of that. In fact, I think that's highlighted by the fact that my House ranking member and I tend to disagree on mostly everything, but we get along wonderfully, and she has consistently made our legislation better because of her dissent. So with that, I ask that we begin this meeting knowing that we are all here. Kids do not belong to a political party. They just need to grow up safe, happy, and healthy. And that's what we do here. And I look forward to working with every single one of you to get to that end. I would also now like to introduce my new co-chair, Senator Cece Mar. How are you? If you'd like to say a few words.
Thank you, Representative Cohen. I appreciate the introduction, and I look forward to joining all of you this session to work to make sure the children are taken care of in Connecticut. It is incredibly important. My background comes as a licensed master social worker and as someone who has been providing services to children for over 20 years in nonprofits. And the working alongside all of you, this session is going to be very important as we move the bills forward. So thank you. And I give you back the.
Great. Thank you so much, Senator. We really do appreciate you, and we're happy to have you aboard. We also have someone new as our House Vice Chair, Representative Keat.
Hello, thank you. I am honored and excited to get to work with this committee. My background is in maternal and child health, and as a mother as well, I am honored and dedicated to helping our most vulnerable residents, our children who have no vote and have no real voice in our legislature. So I'm here to do the work for them. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And we have a great friend of the committee, but who is our first time Senate Vice Chair, Senator Kushner. How are you? Would you like to say a few words?
Thank you, Chair Linehan. It's so great to be here. I am new to this committee, although I'm not new to the legislature. This is I'm beginning my third term, but I'm very excited to work with our chairs, both our chairs, but particularly our new chair, Senator Mar, because we share representation of Richfield and have gotten to know each other well and appreciate so much her commitment to children. So I'm new to the committee, but I'm not new to the process, and I'm looking forward to being of assistance as much as I can, and I look forward to the work. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Senator. And then we have, back by popular demand, reprising her role as my House ranking, Representative Dauphiné. Would you like to say a few words?
Sure. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm happy to be here. I'm Rep. Ann Dauphiné. I have been in the legislature. This is now going into my fourth term. I've been on the Children's Committee now 3 sessions, and this is my second one going on with our chair, Representative Liz Linehan. I do want to mention that this is a little bit out of the ordinary because we typically have a screening of sorts with leadership first. So we're jumping right into an agenda. So we have not had some of the discussion we may have bantered about prior to this meeting. So just so that you're all aware of that, we had some extenuating circumstances that led us to, cancel that meeting. So I just wanted you all to know that I do expect that that's an exception, not a rule, and we will be proceeding as usual. And thank you. Glad to be here.
Thank you so much. And then our Senate ranking member, also a first-time senator, and please forgive me if I mispronounce your name, but you can correct me on mic. Senator Seminara?
Correct.
I did it. Great. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. I'm Lisa Seminara. I am representing the 8th District, which is Avon, Barkhamsted, Canton, Colebrook, Granby, Heartland, Harwington, New Hartford, Norfolk, Simsbury, and Torrington. I am so very happy to be with you today, and I am happy to be a member of this committee. I am a licensed clinical social worker by trade, also a former BOE member of Avon. I have a lot of familiarity with children, and I very much look forward to working together to have a successful session. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much and welcome. And we're going to jump right in. to number 3, which is concepts to raise. I'm going to go down these for those of you who have not been part of this before. I would like to reiterate that these are concepts. Many of the questions that we may have will be questions regarding what does this bill do? What's contained in the bill? I want to be very clear that there is no bill yet. These are concepts to be raised. And essentially any vote that happens today on these concepts to raise essentially means that then we will go and we will create legislation to go to public hearing. Any vote today creates that legislation and then asks for the public to weigh in. That is the purpose of this vote. It starts the process. Anyone who votes for or against these concepts is not ultimately voting simply for its passage. They are voting only to get the public to weigh in on these concepts. Bills that go to public hearing may and probably will change before that happens. So I just wanted to state that publicly for our new members, that a vote for these bills is to start the conversation with your constituents. And that was just important for everyone to know. With that, we're going to call item number 1, an act concerning the inclusion of baby changing stations in certain new construction projects and buildings. Would someone move that bill, please?
So move, Senator Anwar.
Second?
Second.
Thank you for that. So the idea behind this concept is because we have received information and requests from constituents who have gone out to public buildings that they don't have baby changing stations in the men's rooms. And there are plenty of fathers, single parents, single fathers, and the makeup of families today looks so different that we need to start asking the questions if building code needs to be adjusted to support that. Are there any questions? Hearing none. I'd like Representative Dauphinee, please.
Thank you. Thank you. I just wanted to make a few comments with my concerns with this concept. And while the chair did mention they are concepts, I've been doing this long enough that I can kind of read between the lines. And I am sympathetic to individuals bringing their children to public buildings. I have 4 children and 4 grandchildren, so I understand that. I am also sympathetic to the cost of construction and the mandates we put on the cost of construction. So those are my concerns about this particular bill. Okay, and I just wanted to express that before we start the vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative. I actually agree with those. And that is why sending something to a public hearing is a very important part of the process so that we can kind of flesh those ideas out. Is there any? Is there any objection to a voice vote? Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, Representative Mastrofrancesco.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I had a question, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
Through you. So when I look at this bill here, you had mentioned, or concept, we'll say, you had mentioned that this was for public buildings, that you had some concern from constituents about no changing stations in the men's room or the women's room in public buildings. When you say public buildings, do you mean a municipality, a state building, or are you referring to a private business?
That's a really great question. And I'm very sorry for the answer I'm about to give, but we don't know yet. It hasn't gone to public hearing and we haven't had anyone weigh in and the bill is not actually written yet.
Mhm.
Those are definitely the questions that we will be asking through the public hearing process to determine how we want to move forward with that. And I can assure you, Representative, that we will listen to everybody's testimony and that information does go into the final version of the bill. And so that's why it's so important that we have public input.
Thank you. Thank you for the clarification.
You're very welcome. Are there any objections to a voice vote? For the record, Representative Mastrofrancesco has objected to a voice vote, so we will be doing a roll call vote. Madam
Okay.
Clerk.
Motion has been made and seconded. We are voting to draft agenda item number 1, an act concerning the inclusion of baby changing stations in certain new construction projects and buildings. Representative Linehan,
Representative Linehan votes yes.
Senator Marr,
Senator Marr votes yes.
Representative Keat,
Representative Kit votes yes.
Senator Kushner,
Senator Kushner votes yes.
Representative Dauphiné,
Representative Dauphiné votes no.
Senator Seminara,
Senator Samanara votes yes.
Senator Anwar,
Senator Anwar votes yes.
Representative Arnone,
Representative Arnone votes yes.
Representative Boyd,
Representative Boyd, yes.
Senator Cohen,
Senator Cohen votes yes.
Representative Comey,
Representative Comey votes yes.
Representative Hayes,
Representative Hayes votes no.
Representative Lanu,
Representative Lanu votes yes.
Representative Master Francesco,
Representative Mastro Francesco votes no.
Representative Napoli,
Representative Napoli votes yes.
Representative Pizzuto,
Representative Pizzuto votes yes.
Representative Roberts,
Representative Roberts votes yes.
and Representative Welander is not here, neither is Sanchez. So that concludes the vote.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. We have not had any requests to hold the votes open. If we receive requests for that prior to the end of this committee meeting, we will revisit that. Moving on to item number 2, an act expanding school meal programs. May I have a motion?
So move, Senator Anwar.
Second?
Second.
Second,
Thank you very much. It has been moved and seconded. I am going to ask my wonderful co-chair, Senator Marr, to give a few, like a very brief description on the expanding the school meal program, if you will, Senator.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Chairman Linehan. Children during the pandemic had access to food, and the use of that program was incredibly impactful on children being able to learn in school and to know that they had food in houses which normally would not have had food during the day. So we know that since the end of the pandemic funding, in one district alone, they've seen 49% loss in the use of this program because of the cost and also the negative impact of stigmatization of using the free or reduced lunch program. It is incredibly essential that children get access to food so they are ready to learn. It also reduces acting out in the classroom because they're not hungry and distracted. We need to make sure that our children, the next generation for our state, has food, can grow, can learn, and can be productive. So thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity to speak.
Thank you very much, Madam Co-Chair. Are there any questions? Representative Dauphiné.
Thank you, Representative Linehan. Just a few comments, and I am very sensitive to the fact that children need food and that there are many that don't have any. I do know that this program was expanded during COVID when we had access to federal funds, the ARPA funds that allowed us to expand a lot of these programs. And now the concern is that the funds aren't there to fund the expanded program in which it was originally in place. I am in a district which many families are struggling, many in which 2 people are working middle-class incomes and are struggling to make ends meet and buy food for their homes and pay for utility bills and pay their mortgage. And I have concerns about us absorbing the cost of this and how it'll affect the taxpayers in general. So that's what I wanted to comment on. I will be a no on this concept. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Representative. Are there any further questions, comments, concerns? Seeing none as requested, we will take this by roll call vote. Madam Clerk.
Motion has been made and seconded on agenda to item number 2, an act expanding school meal programs, voting to draft. Representative Linehan,
Representative Linehan votes yes.
Senator Mar,
Senator Mar votes yes.
Representative Kit,
Representative Kit votes yes.
Senator Kushner,
Senator Kushner votes yes.
Representative Dauphiné,
Representative Dauphiné votes no.
Senator Seminara,
Senator Seminara votes yes.
Senator Anwar,
Senator Anwar votes yes.
Representative Arnone,
Representative Arnone votes yes.
Representative Boyd,
Representative Boyd, yes.
Senator Cohen,
Senator Cohen votes yes.
Representative Comey,
Representative Comey votes yes.
Representative Hayes,
Representative Hayes votes no.
Representative Lanu,
Representative Lanu votes yes.
Representative Master Francesco,
Representative Master Francesco votes no.
Representative Napoli,
Representative Napoli votes yes.
Representative Pizzuto,
Representative Pizzuto votes no.
Representative Roberts,
Representative Roberts votes yes.
Representative Sanchez, Representative Welander, that concludes the vote.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. We're going to jump around a little bit on the agenda. We're going to move now to item number 15, an act concerning children's programs. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
Thank you very much. It's been moved and seconded, an act concerning children's programs. Are there any questions?
Thank you, Rep. Linehan. I just wanted to say, and I'll just speak on 15, 16, and 17, if I may. I know that they're all blank bills. We don't have any idea what those bills will be. And I'm always faithful to voting no on what we call oftentimes dummy bills, but thank you.
You're very welcome, Representative. And for those of you watching, we're smiling at each other because we've been together for a few years, so we know how this goes with each other. Yes, sometimes you're right. They're called dummy bills, but sometimes they're also the smartest bills that we pass out of this committee. I just want to give a brief synopsis of one that we did previously, which essentially we rescued a bill that didn't make it out of committee in public safety, and it has now become law. And that is about training for EMS officers regarding children with autism. So there are some really, really great things that we've done. It's really in this committee, we don't pull punches. It's really just about making sure that we're doing the right thing for kids and having a vehicle to do that. It has been, are there any other questions? Sorry. Okay, seeing none. It has been requested that this be a roll call vote. So Madam Clerk.
Motion has been made and seconded, voting to draft agenda item 15, an act concerning children's programs. Representative Linehan,
Representative Linehan votes yes.
Senator Mar,
Senator Mar votes yes.
Representative Kit,
Representative Kit votes yes.
Senator Kushner,
Senator Kushner votes yes.
Representative Dauphiné,
Representative Dauphiné votes no.
Senator Seminara,
Senator Seminara votes no.
Senator Anwar,
Senator Anwar votes yes.
Representative Arnone,
Representative Arnone votes yes.
Representative Boyd,
Representative Boyd votes yes.
Senator Cohen,
Senator Cohen votes yes.
Representative Comey,
Representative Comey votes yes.
Representative Hayes,
Representative Hayes votes no.
Representative Lanu,
Yeah, excuse me, Madam Clerk, did you say vote to draft or vote to raise?
I said vote to draft. Is this a race?
Yes, this is a vote to raise. But we're pretty easy going here. So let's just ask LCO. Oh, there you are. Okay, cool. We're A-okay, but it's a vote to raise
So
representative.
We're voting to, make sure I'm clear on what I'm voting on. I'm voting to raise the concept.
Yep.
Okay, Representative Lanu votes no.
All right, I apologize for that. Representative Mastro Francesco,
Thank you. Representative Mastro Francesco votes no.
Representative Napoli,
Representative Napoli votes yes.
Representative Pizzuto,
Representative Pizzuto votes no.
Representative Roberts,
Representative Roberts votes yes.
Representative Sanchez, Representative Welander. That concludes the vote.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. Trial by fire. Welcome to the Children's Committee, my friend. We will then move on to item number 16, which is in the similar vein, an act concerning children's safety. Can I please have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Thank you very much. It's been moved and seconded. I believe, do we have any questions considering it's another similar? Are we all good? Just go right to a vote? Sounds good. Thank you very much. Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Motion has been made and seconded, voting to raise item number 16, an act concerning children's safety. Representative Linehan,
Representative Linehan votes yes.
Senator Mar,
Senator Mar votes yes.
Representative Kit,
Representative Kit votes yes.
Senator Kushner,
Senator Kushner votes yes.
Representative Dauphiné,
Rep. Dauphiné votes no.
Senator Seminara,
Senator Seminara votes no.
Senator Anwar,
Senator Anwar votes yes.
Representative Arnone,
Representative Arnone votes yes.
Representative Boyd,
Representative Boyd votes yes.
Senator Cohen,
Senator Cohen votes yes.
Representative Comey,
Representative Comey votes yes.
Representative Hayes,
Representative Hayes votes no.
Representative Lanu,
Representative Lanu votes no.
Representative Mastro Francesco,
Representative Mastro Francesco votes no.
Representative Napoli,
Representative Napoli votes yes.
Representative Pizzuto,
Representative Pizzuto votes no.
Representative Roberts,
Representative Roberts votes yes.
Representative Sanchez, Representative Welander. That concludes the vote.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. Moving on to item number 17, an act concerning children's health. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
Thank you. It has been moved and seconded. Again, it's an act concerning children's health in the same vein as item number 15 and 16. Without further objection, we will move right to a roll call vote. Madam Clerk.
The motion has been made and seconded. Vote to raise item number 17, an act concerning children's health. Representative Linehan,
Representative Linehan votes yes.
Senator Mar,
Senator Mar votes yes.
Representative Kit,
Representative Kit votes yes.
Senator Kushner,
Senator Kushner votes yes.
Representative Dauphiné,
Rep. Dauphiné votes no.
Senator Seminara,
Senator Seminara votes no.
Senator Anwar,
Senator Anwar votes yes.
Representative Arnone,
Representative Arnone votes yes.
Representative Boyd,
Representative Boyd votes yes.
Senator Cohen,
Senator Cohen votes yes.
Representative Comey,
Representative Comey votes yes.
Representative Hayes,
Representative Hayes votes no.
Representative Lanu,
Representative Lanu votes no.
Representative Mastro Francesco,
Representative Mastro Francesco votes no.
Representative Napoli,
Representative Napoli votes yes.
Representative Pizzuto,
Representative Pizzuto votes no.
Representative Roberts,
Representative Roberts votes yes.
Representative Sanchez, Representative Welander. That concludes the vote.
Thank you very much. And my apologies to Representative Pizzuto. I see that a hand has been raised and I missed that earlier. Representative, do you have a question, sir?
Yeah, I do, Madam Chair. Thank you so much. I'm very new to this committee. It's hard for me to say no to things like children's safety and health, but there's no details. And is that the norm for this committee? I mean, I know it's a concept like world peace, but I would love to see I don't want to just vote no for the sake of voting no, but it's like saying vote for a bill and then we'll pass it. I'd like to see at least some detail. Is that possible for?
Yeah, so
future agenda items?
Representative, I have to say that's we're only on day one, and I think that's going to go down in history as my favorite line of the year. We all want world peace, but as I had mentioned earlier, items number 15, 16, and 17 are known as placeholder bills, and essentially we entitle them to ensure that if something comes up through the committee process, or if a bill that has had a public hearing in another committee and has failed, or if a bill that needs to arise out of something we heard in the public hearing and something that we missed, that it would ultimately, we could vote to put it in these bills. It would need to still be germane. So if I said an act concerning children's programs, then that bill cannot be, it has to have something to do with the children's programs. The second one would have to have something to do with children's safety. The third one would have to have something to do with children's health. It's a fail-safe because this committee has the earliest deadlines of all the committees in the legislature. And to ensure that everything goes through the proper process, we put these together. But I can assure you that every time that we've utilized these bills, it was still a bill that went through the entire public hearing process. There were no punches pulled, and that every member of our committee is aware of what's going on. Does that sufficiently answer your question, Representative?
Yes, Madam Chair. Thank you. Yeah,
Cool,
appreciate
you're
it.
welcome. Senator Anwar.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, I move to create a consent calendar, please.
What a fantastic idea, Senator. Do we have a second on that?
I'll second that.
Second.
Oh, my apologies, Senator. I'm told that there may be an issue. If you can give me 1 second. Senator Anwar, my brother from another mother and my previous co-chair, who I greatly miss, I think you and I both made the mistake of not realizing that item number 18 is also one of the bills that we have to do before we create a consent calendar. So, sir, I do ask that you do it again in a few minutes.
Madam Chair, I withdraw my motion.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you. Item number 18, an act concerning children's services. Can I have a motion?
So move, Senator Anwar.
And a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Are there any questions? Okay, seeing none. Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Motion has been made and seconded, voting to raise item number 18, an act concerning children's services. Representative Linehan,
Representative Linehan votes yes.
Senator Mar,
Senator Mar votes yes.
Representative Kit,
Representative Kit votes yes.
Senator Kushner,
Senator Kushner votes yes.
Representative Dauphiné,
Rep. Dauphiné votes no.
Senator Seminara,
Senator Seminara votes no.
Senator Anwar,
Senator Anwar votes yes.
Representative Arnone,
Representative Arnone votes yes.
Representative Boyd,
Representative Boyd votes yes.
Senator Cohen,
Senator Cohen votes yes.
Representative Comey,
Representative Comey votes yes.
Representative Hayes,
Representative Hayes votes no.
Representative Lanu,
Representative Lanu votes no.
Representative Master Francesco,
Representative Master Francesco votes no.
Representative Napoli,
Representative Napoli votes yes.
Representative Pizzuto,
Representative Pizzuto votes no.
Representative Roberts,
Representative Roberts votes yes.
Representative Sanchez, Representative Welander. Thank you. That concludes the vote.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. As we are still on Roman numeral 3, we will begin back up to item number 3. Senator Anwar.
Madam Chair, I move to create a consent calendar, please.
So moved. Can I have a second?
Second,
The consent calendar has been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion or objection? Seeing none. Oh, sorry, Representative Master Francesco.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, as we go through these, I understand they're going to be put on consent calendar. If we can get a little bit of an explanation on what's behind these, that would be great. I know that these are just concepts only, but there's got to be a thought process behind them. A concept doesn't fall out of full air. Somebody put this together and had a thought that of a goal, let's say, that they want to achieve. So I really am always hesitant about concepts because I know there's language back there. It exists. It's just that it hasn't been written yet. And we're not privy to that information because the bill hasn't been written yet. So I would like to get some detail or something. Where did this come from? Why are we doing it? And that would certainly be helpful.
Absolutely,
Thank you, Madam
Representative.
Chair.
And same thing that we did for items number 1 and 2. We will continue to do them moving down the line. But I do caution you, Madam, to really, it could be quite dangerous trying to get in my head. And you might not want to go there, but we will do our best to have you understand.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and I would be happy to go there.
God love you. Okay, great. So then we're going to start with item number 3 then. An act concerning the creation of a special needs day programming in municipalities. Can I please have a motion?
So moved.
And second,
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. This bill, I'll give a little explanation on this. This bill is something that is not going to become a mandate in the first draft of the bill, and I assume it probably won't in the second. I'm just trying to be completely straightforward, where essentially we want to recreate a program that is currently done in certain municipalities across the state. One of them is Cheshire. And this program is where the police department and the fire department and the emergency medical services open their doors one day a year to have special needs families come in. And it's sort of like a special needs touch-a-truck for emergency vehicles to ensure that children with special needs, especially those children with autism, are not overwhelmed by the sights and noises that are typically associated with rescuing a child by emergency service personnel. It's for the safety of not only the children and their families, but also for the emergency services personnel. Oh, go ahead, Representative.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair. I appreciate that explanation. It kind of gives me some background. So there was a thought process behind that. This program does exist, as you mentioned, in Cheshire. You mentioned something there about like a one-day program. In here, it says it's a day program. Is it something the thought that this would be an everyday program that the towns would offer for the special needs? I don't know if that was your thought process when drafting.
As it is currently in existence in the town, it is a once, maybe twice a day a year that they open their doors, but the program continues, whereas it really fosters wonderful relationships between police officers, firefighters, EMS workers, and the community. And this is envisioned as an off-the-shelf program that the state can fund to give to municipalities in order for them to do it themselves should they wish.
Thank you for the clarification.
You're very welcome. Are there any other questions? Seeing none, are there, I'm not sure, do I move that we put it on a consent? Can I do that, LCO?
Madam Chair, can
Great,
we
thank you. I
please-
move that we put this on consent. Is there any objection? Seeing none, the item goes on consent. Thank you. Item number 4. An act concerning the creation of a state police sting operation unit to address the online sexual abuse of minors. May I have a motion?
So move, Senator Anwar.
Thank you, Senator. Is it seconded?
Second.
Thank you, Representative. It has been moved and seconded. This is the impetus behind this. Since the pandemic, our children have been spending a great deal of time online. And this happened prior to the pandemic, but we've seen it be exacerbated, if I can say the word, excuse me. Essentially, it's this. We don't have enough police officers to really police the internet. It's a difficult job. And there are some towns who are doing this, and they are taking predators off the street. Essentially, I believe that the state should be funding a greater program, have it a combination of state police and municipal police, and ensure that it is done properly with the proper due process, while also providing services for the victims. That is the beginning of this, and we will look to flesh that out during the public hearing. Are there any further questions? Yes, sir.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and I promise I'm not going to ask a lot of questions on the others. But I do need to know, is this something that the state police has brought this concept asking to do this, or is this something that we're going to offer to them and say, this is now yours, you're going to do this? Is this brought forward by them, or is this brought forward by us putting it upon the police?
Representative, the answer to that is sort of D, none of the above. It is not a mandated thing where they have to participate. It creates one unit, and then this unit will go and seek officers who want to be a part of that unit. The state funds it. This is actually from all of the testimony that we heard last year about adult sexual misconduct towards children, and some conversations that we have had with outside sources, as well as victims and victims' parents who would like to really have a better idea that there are police officers out there who are protecting our children from these online predators. Does that answer your question, sir?
No, it does, but just for clarification, please, if I could, what I'm looking for is, I understand this would be a new special unit within the state police. Have the state police requested to make this unit? Are we going to put this together and then ask them?
That's what the public hearing process is, and we will expect that there will be testimony regarding that. This is our concept as the legislature and the committee, and then we bring that forward to the police.
Very good, thank you.
Thank you. Are there Representative Master Francesco?
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I apologize. You probably know me that I'm full of a lot of questions on pretty much most of my committees, because I want to certainly be well informed. It's interesting that just this week there was a arrest in my hometown in Wolcott, and it was basically a sting operation for a predator trying to attract minors. And the sting operation really was, the people who did this was a private organization. It was a private social media, and they actually worked with our local Wolcott Police Department, and they actually did a sting operation, and they caught the gentleman. I think, it's important. There's a lot of predators out there. My question is that I know that this bill, doing a little bit of research, was in this committee last year, but last year it was a task force. And it looks like it passed out of committee. It never went to the vote on a floor. So I'm just curious, as now it seems like you're drafting this as a actual language to implement it, where before it was more of a task force. Can you tell me what's changed in the meantime?
Absolutely. Those are actually two very separate things. The task force did pass into law, I believe, as part of SB 2 or 5001. I'm unsure which one that was. But the task force is in existence. And that was really to look at best practices and ways to do this. So, and utilizing experts in the field to help move along police forces that would like to have this kind of work, right? This bill actually says that this committee and this legislature deems the sexual predation of minors to be so egregious, and that it is becoming really a bigger problem year after year, that we want to fund the police officers to be able to do that.
Thank you, Madam Chair, for the explanation. Will this committee, do you know, it passed in last year in 5001 or Senate Bill 2. Will that task force, have they met and will they report back to this committee with the information that they have found prior to this going through?
Prior to the vote, no, ma'am, I do not believe so, but this bill can somehow be connected in that regard. If you are interested in doing that, I ask that you contact us as the committee chairpeople and start talking about how you would like those connected, and I'm more than happy to entertain that.
Thank you for the clarification.
You're very welcome. Are there any other questions? Seeing none, may I please have a motion to move this to consent? It's been moved. Do we have any objection? Great. Seeing no objection, the item will be placed on consent. Number 5, an act concerning the creation of a Title IX toolkit for school districts. May I have a motion?
So moved.
And second?
Second.
The motion has been moved and seconded. This bill is something that we've been working on with, this committee has been working on with the Office of the Child Advocate for quite some time. And essentially what we have found over the past couple of years, which is evidenced by the many news stories that you all have seen over the past year, that we have had a lot of adult sexual misconduct towards children in schools. Title IX does protect students, especially from sexual harassment. But when there has been testimony, or there has been an understanding of someone or of a school district who has had this problem in their district, they have said that Title IX is a little bit confusing, and they're not 100% sure about how to go through the process of possibly an investigation or of what the law really says. There's no plain language helper through it. So the Office of the Child Advocate would like to develop a Title IX toolkit for school districts. It's basically a reference material, and I believe that it would be extremely important in order to ensure that we are taking predators out of classrooms. Does anyone have any further questions regarding this bill? Great. Seeing none, I'd like to put that on consent. Is there any objection? Seeing no objection, the item will be moved to consent. Number 6, an act concerning the safe storage and disposal of cannabis, cannabis products, and prescription drugs. May I have a motion?
So moved.
And a second? The item has been moved and seconded. This is essentially, if we have all noticed that there have been a great deal of news stories out about the tragedies of children overdosing due to the unsafe storage of medications, illicit drugs, and cannabis. This bill is aimed at the education and understanding of what safe storage and disposal is. The idea is to get the word out to those adults who use these so that they can safely store and dispose them and keep them out of the hands of children. Are there any further questions? Representative Master Francesco.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, there was a bill in this committee last year. Exactly, it had the exact title name, and I believe it was voted on the committee. Is this pretty much the same bill from last year?
Indeed,
Maybe
it
with a
is,
modification
Representative.
on it. Is it essentially the same bill?
It is the same bill. Yes.
It is the same bill. Okay. That's good to know. This is why my frustration with concepts. A lot of these things were put in the legislature maybe last year or the year before. There is language there that we could have had at least to just look at. So we'd have all the answers to our questions before me grilling you here. But I understand it. It was here last year. It's pretty much the same bill.
It is the same title, and it is a starting point for the bill. The thing about what we do in the Children's Committee is we make decisions based on data. We have had more data come through about the need for safe storage with cannabis, prescription drugs, and illicit drugs. So while this is the jumping off point, it should not be construed. It is still a concept and that the language will likely change from what was happening last year. That's why we need to go to public hearing.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Seeing none on Zoom or here, I move that we add this item to consent. Is there any objection? Seeing no objection, it will be placed on consent. Item number 7, an act concerning the rights of families with students with an individualized education program or a 504 plan. Can I have a motion, please? May I have a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. This bill comes from advocates and parents about the fact that when students go through an IEP, individualized education program, or a 504 plan, that there are many rights afforded to them that they are unaware of. And for the ability for their students to receive the best possible education, they should be informed of those rights. This bill will attempt to figure out the best possible way to inform students and parents of their rights under their IEP or 504, and how to raise questions and call meetings and so on and so forth. Are there any questions? Seeing none, is there any objection to moving this item to consent? With no objection, the item will be moved to consent. Number 8, an act concerning Medicaid reimbursement for mental health and suicide risk assessments conducted at the school-based health centers. May I have a motion?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
The concept has been moved and seconded. This bill is really about parity in the way mental health professionals are paid. And if we are asking school-based health centers to do mental health and suicide risk assessments, as was passed last year and signed into law in June, then we need to pay them appropriately. And that's what this bill seeks to do. Are there any questions? Representative Master Francesco.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Did you say this was to make payment to the clinician or the person doing the assessment, or is it for the families to make sure that that is paid for?
No, you were correct on the first one. It's for the clinicians to be paid at the same level.
So are the clinicians there, are they hired privately by the school?
Madam, that could be different in different areas, and that's something we will absolutely talk about during the public hearing process.
I'll listen to the public hearing on that. I do have other questions, but
Absolutely, and you can
Thank
ask
you.
questions there
Thank you.
too. Thank you very much. Are there any other questions? Seeing none, excuse me, I'd like to move this item to consent. Are there any objections? With no objections, the item will be moved to consent. Moving on to item number 9, an act concerning a study of the reading program offered by the Bloomfield School District. Can I have a motion, please? It's been moved. May I have a second?
And that's a second.
It's been moved and seconded. The background of this is that the legislature did pass the ability, or rather, did pass a grouping of reading programs that were approved by the state. Since then, we have heard from districts that are seeking waivers in order to keep their programs because they're not actually there on the list, the approved list. I believe, as one of the co-chairs of this committee, that the answer probably lies somewhere in between. And I am hesitant to write a bill about waivers because waivers just say you don't need to follow the rules. One of my concerns is that if a waiver is given, that data should come back. And it should be then determined if the data was positive enough that it would be then placed on the approved list. That's what this starts off as, and we will hear why that is important through the public hearing process. Are there any questions? Yes, Senator.
Why are we only looking at Bloomfield, given the fact that it's my understanding that a number of towns have applied for that waiver?
Absolutely, and that's a great question. First, because Bloomfield asked. Secondly, because the way that they are putting forward their reading program, they actually already have some data. And so if we do this as a one-off, instead of allowing everybody to do that, we can come up with best practices to move forward in subsequent years to ensure that we have the correct data points that give the State Department of Education enough information to determine if it should be added to the approved curriculum list. So it's kind of a one step in a 10-step process.
So if other districts are interested in providing, if their data exists and other districts are interested in providing their data, are we going to allow that process?
I look forward to hearing about that during the public hearing process, and I would certainly be open to it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Again, just for everyone to understand, it's a concept, and when it moves through the process, things grow and change. And so this is our toe in the water. If you know me, I use that all the time. It's our toe in the water. All right. Thank you very much, Senator. Are there any other questions or concerns or comments? Seeing none, I'd like to move this to the consent calendar. Any objection? Without objection, it will be moved to consent. Item number 10, an act concerning parental notification of certain events at psychiatric and behavioral facilities. May I please have a motion? And a second?
Second.
The motion has, the item has been moved and seconded. The background of this information is a few years ago, this committee had a meeting regarding the death of a young woman named Destiny G, who is at a state-run facility. Destiny died by suicide moments before she was released from the program. Since then, the Department of Children and Families has done an amazing job of ensuring safety and answering questions that we had regarding the safety of our kids in these facilities. However, prior to the new administration coming on board and working with me through this, the earlier administration had agreed to anytime there were certain events at psychiatric and behavioral facilities, that if there was deemed immediate jeopardy of harm or there was a suicide, something similar, that those parents would be notified. Since then, the Department of Children and Families has done a great job, but we are moving licensure of some places away from that. And now we want to make sure that the notification to parents of these events is communicated in every facility. So that would be the impetus of this. And it's really just because parents want to be more involved, and we want to make that possible for them in this regard for the safety of our kids. And let the record reflect, please, that Representative Master Francesco nodded and didn't have a question on that one, so I'm getting better at explaining. I'd like to move this item to consent. Are there any objections? Seeing no objections, the item will be moved to consent. Number 11, an act concerning the post-pandemic operations of the Department of Children and Families. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
And a second? It's been moved and seconded. Essentially, the Department of Children and Families had a lot to deal with during the pandemic, and how that they work with the families in the system. And now we want to see if there are ways to improve that, get back to normal, and put that in statute. Are there any questions or concerns? Seeing none, I'd like to move this to consent. Is there any objection? With no objection, we will move it to consent. We're getting there, folks. Number 12, an act establishing an age limitation for the sale of kratom. May I have a motion? And a second? The item has been moved and seconded. Essentially, the sale of kratom is largely unregulated, and we have had some questions and concerns from parents who would like to see that there is an age restriction on these items, as they are mostly sold in vape shops anyways, and figure out the safety profile and if there should be age restriction on that. I know the question that Rep. Master Francesco is thinking, and she's wondering what I have as an idea as to what that age restriction should be. My answer for you, madam, is I don't know yet. And that's going to come through the public hearing process. With that descriptor, are there any questions? Seeing none, I really am getting better at this. I'd like to move this to consent. Is there any objection? With no objections, the item is moved to consent. Thank you. Item number 13, an act concerning municipal youth camp licensing. Do I have a motion? And a second?
Second.
Thank you very much. The item has been moved and seconded. The impetus of this is essentially we've been really buttoning up the licensing of private camps, and now we need to explore the possibility of ensuring that municipal camps are also licensed. I look forward to the public hearing process where we can hear from everybody about that. Are there any questions or concerns? Go
Madam
ahead,
Chair,
Representative.
This is for a licensing for a municipality. If the municipality has a program, is that what you're saying?
Yes, ma'am. So right now, it is believed that municipal youth camp programs are exempt from the licensing process. And so we're looking for parity between private camps and municipal camps for the purpose of oversight and ensuring safety of our youth.
I understand that, but I also understand that a municipality, if they have to get somebody licensed, it would certainly cost the municipality more money and probably cost more money for the town.
It's the camp license itself, and it's not an individual. There's an individual that it has the name on the license. That's usually the director, but the camp itself, by becoming licensed, would be subject to the same rules and regulations of private camps.
But if I'm not mistaken, this is for a municipality, right? So it's not a private
Correct.
entity running.
Right,
It's
we're
the
looking for
town
parity.
running- It's the town running the program.
Correct.
Madam Chair, I'm going to ask you for a roll call on this one here. I am not a fan of all these licenses requirements that we have for people. So I do have some concerns on this one, especially when it's deals with the municipality. So I would ask for a
Absolutely.
roll call.
As is your right, we will absolutely do a roll call
Thank you.
vote. I just want to reiterate that our job here in the committee is to ensure the health, well-being, and safety of all children. And it is my firm belief that one should not be safe only in a private camp, but should also be safe in a municipal camp as well.
I agree, Madam Chair, and I would have the same feeling with a private, and because I don't agree with this does not mean that I do not care about the health, welfare, and the safety of our children. I just want to make that clear.
Great, thank you. I appreciate
you.
I appreciate that. Are there any other questions? Seeing no questions, Madam Clerk, when you call the roll?
Motion has been made and seconded concerning voting to raise agenda item number 13, an act concerning municipal youth camp licensing. Representative Linehan,
Representative Linehan votes yes.
Senator Marr,
Senator Marr votes yes.
Representative Kit,
Representative Kit votes yes.
Senator Kushner,
Senator Kushner votes yes.
Representative Dauphiné,
Rep. Dauphiné votes no.
Senator Seminara,
Senator Seminara votes yes.
Senator Anwar,
Senator Anwar votes yes.
Representative Arnone,
Representative Arnone votes yes.
Representative Boyd,
Representative Boyd votes yes.
Senator Cohen,
Senator Cohen votes yes.
one more time, Senator Cohen,
Senator Cohen votes yes.
thank you. Representative Comey,
Representative Comey votes yes.
Representative Hayes,
Representative Hayes votes yes.
Representative Lanu,
Representative Lanu votes yes.
Representative Master Francesco,
Representative Mastro Francesco votes no.
Representative Napoli,
Representative Napoli votes yes.
Representative Pizzuto,
Representative Pizzuto votes yes.
Representative Roberts,
Representative Roberts votes yes.
Representative Sanchez, Representative Welander. Thank you. That concludes the vote.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk, and I assure everybody here, we're almost done. Two more. Number 14, an act establishing a task force to study injury prevention and safety protocols in youth sports leagues and certain athletic programs. Can I have a motion?
So move, Senator Anwar.
Thank you, Senator. And a second?
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. Thank you very much. This bill is, it's actually the really good bipartisan work of this committee last year. And unfortunately, it was not called for a final vote. But I think that's kismet because as we move forward, I actually earlier I had mentioned that data changes. And we now have even more information. Essentially, what this bill will do is compile a group of experts in the field. So that would be medical experts, youth sports experts, as well as stakeholders, to meet once a year to review safety data, to make recommendations, only recommendations, to the CIAC and other youth sport entities about the safety profiles of the latest equipment in each sport for both male and female sports. With that said, last time this was kind of known as the neck guard bill. And we went through the public hearing process. Just so the new representatives understand, this started out as the neck guard bill. And through the public hearing process, we changed it to be more encompassing and not mandate anything so that the CIAC and youth sports programs have the flexibility to react in real time to safety profile data. So this is something that is supported by the CIAC and by medical professionals. Are there any questions regarding this bill? Great. Seeing none, I'd like to move that to consent. Any objections? No objections. The item will be moved to consent. We do have item number 19, which is to draft Senate Bill number 2, an act concerning the mental, physical, and emotional wellness of children. May I have a motion?
So move, Senator
And
Anwar.
Thank you, Senator. Second.
Second.
Great. Thank you very much. This bill is, we're going to vote to draft it as a committee bill. And it really does say an act concerning the mental, physical, and emotional wellness of children. My belief is that this will be a continuation of the work that we did on SB2 last year and 5001, which actually passed unanimously in both chambers. And any other information on that is not what I have at this point. Discussions will just be beginning. However, I would like to reiterate that the idea of this is to vote to draft as a committee bill, and the entire committee will go to public hearing to have an idea of what we want to put in that throughout the process. Are there any questions? Rep. Daphne.
Thank you, Rep. Linehan. Just a few comments with regard to SB2. This is my, I think, third time with an SB2. They are huge omnibus bills that have many, many, many different programs often in them. The last 2 years, and I think Rep. Linehan mentioned also 5001, which was passed in public health, included many, many programs with regard to these issues. So I'm of the belief that we need to take a breath, look at what we're doing and see what's working and what's not. We so often in our legislature add more and more and pile more and more on top. I think that we really need to take a breath, look at what we've implemented already, see what's working, what's not working before we add on more. So while I am a big supporter of supporting these issues, I think that we do need to be a little bit more frugal with what we're doing in terms of cost and effectiveness. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Ranking Member. Any other questions, concerns? This will be a roll call vote. Madam Clerk, can you call the roll?
Motion has been made and seconded. This is a vote to draft SB2, an act concerning the mental, physical, and emotional wellness of children. Representative Linehan,
Representative Linehan votes yes.
Senator Mar,
Senator Mar votes yes.
Representative Kit,
Representative Kit votes yes.
Senator Kushner,
Senator Kushner votes yes.
Representative Dauphiné,
Rep. Dauphiné votes no.
Senator Seminara,
Senator Seminara votes yes.
Senator Anwar,
Senator Anwar votes yes.
Representative Arnone,
Representative Arnone votes yes.
Representative Boyd,
Representative Boyd votes yes.
Senator Cohen,
Senator Cohen votes yes.
Representative Comey,
Representative Comey votes yes.
Representative Hayes,
Representative Hayes votes yes.
Representative Lanu,
Representative Lanu votes yes.
Representative Master Francesco,
Representative Mastro Francesco votes no.
Representative Napoli,
Representative Napoli votes yes.
Representative Pizzuto,
Representative Pizzuto votes yes.
Representative Roberts,
Representative Roberts votes yes.
Representative Sanchez, Representative Welander. Thank you. That concludes the vote.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. We can now vote on the consent calendar. Is there any objection to a voice vote? Seeing no objection, Madam Clerk, may you read the bills that are on the consent calendar?
This is a vote to raise all of the items on the consent calendar, which include agenda item number 3, an act concerning the creation of a special needs day programming in municipalities. Agenda item 4, an act concerning the creation of a state police sting operation unit to address online sexual abuse of minors. Agenda item 5, an act concerning the creation of a Title IX toolkit for school districts. Agenda item 6, an act concerning the safe storage and disposal of cannabis products, and prescription drugs. Agenda item 7, an act concerning the rights of families with students with an individualized education program or a 504 plan. Agenda item 8, an act concerning Medicaid reimbursement for mental health and suicide risk assessments conducted at school-based health centers. Agenda item 9, an act concerning a study of the reading program offered by the Bloomfield School District. Agenda item 10, an act concerning parental notification of certain events at psychiatric and behavioral facilities. Agenda item 11, an act concerning the post-pandemic operations of the Department of Children and Families. Agenda item 12, an act establishing an age limitation for the sale of kratom. Did I get that right? Kratom. And agenda item 14, an act establishing a task force to study injury prevention and safety protocols in youth sports leagues and certain athletic programs.
Thank you very much.
Excuse me. Madam Chair, sorry, apologies.
Sorry.
I think we skipped over 13, an act concerning municipal youth camp licensing.
Senator, I think we roll called that.
Yes, that's correct.
Madam Clerk, before we move on, can you double check that Senator Mar did?
No, I'm sorry. I must have misstated it. When reading the consent.
Right, it's
bills-
not on consent. I think we did a roll call vote on that. If we could
Okay,
just double
apologies.
check that the senator's vote was recorded on that.
Yes, it was.
Great, thank you. Right, we're doing a voice vote, sorry. All those in favor say aye. Aye, again.
Aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. The consent calendar has passed. Thank you all very much. This is a very productive first meeting. So many of us kind of planned for a 20-minute org meeting. So thank you all very much for being here for the long haul. Couple of quick things. I just want to say before we adjourn that I'd like to take a moment and give a little bit of love to our friend Representative Q Williams. So we didn't work together a lot, but we were friends, and he always believed in our job to do our best for children. And we talked about that often. So I just want to say for a moment that the work that we do here will be in honor of him this year. The second thing I'd like to say is there have been many members who have been part of this committee before and came back. And I'd like to thank Senator Anwar, who was our co-chair at one time, my brother from another mother. I love you, my friend. Thank you for being here again with us. Same to all the returning members and Representative Wielander. She recently lost her mother, so the committee would like to extend our condolences to her as well. And finally, thank you to our staff. Emily Zambrello, our clerk, assistant clerk, Christian Tolarski, House Dem Policy, Chris Calabrese, House Republican Policy, Connor Favre, although honestly, he's leaving us. And so you're lucky you got a shout out here today, my friend. SDO Policy, Julia Anderson, thank you very much. Senate Republican, Sean Cleary, thank you very much. LCO, Sarah O'Connor, Chris Cordima, OFA, Rachel Della Pietra, Lindsay Johnston, OLR would be Jessica Callahan and Michelle Kirby. You are all part of this. We appreciate everybody's time and effort for our children. And with that, do we have a meeting next planned? I'm supposed to announce it, but I don't know.
The next one we have scheduled is January 24th, a Tuesday. We will see about scheduling a sooner one though.
There you have it, folks. Check your email. Thank you very much. And with that, this meeting is adjourned.